CUSP means to me a transition, a moving from one state to another. So I'm a Wabunja and Wadi Wadi woman from the Yuin Nation, and I'm an Aboriginal designer. I'm the creative director of the National Aboriginal Design Agency, so I broker partnerships between Aboriginal artists and the manufacturing sector to make products that can go into the built environment. So lighting, carpets, furniture, I'll even do door handles that have an Aboriginal aesthetic and tell an Aboriginal story. I'm at this wonderful point of bringing Aboriginal culture and storytelling to a new language, which is design and architecture. You know, this is the language of the modern world, and we want to share Aboriginal stories and the ancient art of storytelling to the whole world. And what better way to do it than with the objects that we use every day and the buildings that we walk through. They can really reveal a spiritual depth that our culture goes to.
Because I was here, I was in this image close up, and I saw the river.
Well, I really think a lot about my ancestral designers. You know, the designer that sat down and designed the boomerang, the designer that sat and designed the woomera. Both amazing inventions. These are objects that are absolutely sophisticated in their function. They're inherently sustainable. They're very beautiful to look at. But they also have another layer, which is story to them. They always had some beautiful painting carved into them that may be about hunting, or may be about what the object is actually used for, or may be about the land, the people, the community, where it comes from. I really think that I need to create objects that are sustainable, beautiful, functional, but also have that layer of meaning, that storytelling to it. Another inspiration for my work is the idea that we can share Aboriginal culture on a global scale, that people can experience Aboriginal culture in a way that they never have before, and so they can immerse themselves into our cultural stories. They're about our connection to country, our human connection to the country, about passing on knowledge to young people and how important that is, about looking after elders and the role that elders play within our community. It's about our kinship, our family connections. I think these are the stories that the world needs to hear now, and this is what I think Aboriginal culture can bring to the world. My project for CUSP is called The Sit Place. The Sit Place, as described by our local elder and wonderful poet Arnie B. Ballingarry, who's part of this project, is a special place for sharing and contemplation. It's a place for talking and sharing ideas. The Sit Place is a new vision for the Australian lounge room that literally speaks to you. So when you sit on the chairs that have been beautifully designed by local Aboriginal artists, you will hear poetry by Arnie B. Ballingarry. The cups are designed by local artists, and they will also have a story. The furniture will also tell a story. Everything around you will be layered in meaning. Going into the next decade, I really feel that design can have much more meaning, that we can connect with our buildings and our objects that we use every day so much more. I think if we really want to build sustainability long-term into product design, there's nothing like building preciousness into those objects so that we can pass on those objects, you know, to our kids. There's been much of a heightened understanding of what design can do for you in your world. For people domestically, the control that they have over expressing their identity in their own space, it makes them curators of their own space. So for us to be able to provide objects with meaning that can speak to people's identity, that can touch a certain value, there's something about themselves that they connect with that object. That's what we want to do with the design agency.